right now. So please, again, I'm begging you, just.
No, we should be talking belly.
Why? What's the problem? Is that all right?
Yeah. Those are your glasses that turn into sunglasses?
Yeah.
Wow. Nice.
People are getting on. Yo, crew, what up?
What's going on? Yo.
What's up, you fuckers?
It's grocery shopping, bro.
Grocery shopping, I love it. By the way, guys, I'm gonna just be eating a little bit of breakfast, so
what are you eating?
Some turkey bacon with some eggs and tomatoes.
Ooh. Performance breakfast. Nice.
Fuck yeah. I need all the energy I can get. All right, so let's see. How many people we have on here? We got 6. All right, we need more.
How many people are there total?
I think.
Yeah, there's 27 of us now.
Yeah.
Well, in the chat.
Yo, what's up, everybody?
What's good?
I'm excited.
Oh.
Oh, man, sales. Oh, God, I love talking about sales. So fucking awesome. What up, Hakeem, you motherfucker?
Yo.
This guy's out here in the harsh cold over there.
Yo, I'm in Grand Prairie. It's like minus 20 right now over here.
Shit.
Yeah, it's fucking ridiculous.
All right, let's see. Let's give it a second here. How's everybody's week been? Give me the rundown while we wait for more people to jump on. Don't all do it at once.
Well, I'll start.
Sure.
Hey everyone, Aaron here, just eating some oatmeal, drinking some coffee. So as far as kind of like outreach, a lot of it has been through LinkedIn. I think somebody talked about it yesterday or Hakeem, I think, talked about like how having an optimized profile has like really helped him out.
Mm-hmm.
I've definitely reached out to a bunch of people, but I've also had like probably 10 to 15 people like reach out to me asking like what I've done and what I do.
Nice.
So I think that's like they all haven't like landed into phone calls, but they're just like all interested in what I'm doing. So it's like trying to get them off of LinkedIn and then just like through email and stuff like that. So I found that like really just like hyper focusing on like that one niche and going for that has worked pretty well. Other than that, made a bunch of phone calls. I think I had this week probably 4 discovery calls, and then I hopped on a call with Brian with a company out in California, and he's super down. We were like, the guy was like super, like Brian joked me right at the beginning, and like, we kind of went back and forth, and the guy's like, "You're just like me and my business partner," and like we just kind of like fucked around for like 20 minutes. But yeah, so we're gonna have a proposal call with him hopefully either later today, latest Monday, and then go from there.
Nice, dude. You're on fire, bro.
Yeah, man.
What's up, everybody? What's up, crew?
What's good?
So,
What up, boys?
real quick, Aaron, I had a question for you. So, you mentioned that you're getting some inbound inquiries, which is the greatest thing you can ever have.
Yeah.
First question is, what are they saying and what are you saying?
As like, so if they reach out first?
Uh-huh.
So they for the most part, it's been through either, it's actually all been pretty much through LinkedIn. They'll say like, "Hey, tell me a little bit about what you do." And I'll usually, send them like a voice message back. I'll say like, "Hey man, like super great to connect. Like great to virtually meet you. What's your schedule look like in the next like 24 hours to jump on a phone call so I can learn a little more about your business?" Okay. I found that that's worked pretty much every time.
So what's been the response to that?
To that, I mean, I think it's because they're already like somewhat interested. I think I had like one out of the handful of people like ask about like what I did, and I
Okay.
was just like all I said was like, we do a bunch of different things. I'd love to learn about more of your business so I can figure out how I could best help you, as opposed to saying, well, I do marketing for this, and we do this. You know what I mean?
Yep. Smart. So that's one way to attack it, which is definitely a good way. One thing I would test by the way, what's your industry again?
Solar.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So how I would also test attacking it is make it a bit more nonchalant. Just say, instead of, I'm a huge fan of voice messages, so I would definitely, like I said, keep doing those, but split test with also just messaging them and saying, hey, whatever their name is, thanks for reaching out. Too much, right? Say too much to type on here, LOL. When are you free to chat?
Okay.
When are you free to chat? Instead of making it like, when can we talk so I can learn about your business? Just make it when you chat, so it's more of like, hey, I just want to get to know you, like befriend you type of thing.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I've tested like adding a little bit of like the nonchalant like text within there, so it's not always a voice message, but I have been testing kind of like back and forth.
Yeah, because that way you'll have some data. Okay, I've voice messaged 10 people, and I've said this to 10 other people, and this has been the result. That way you can start only sticking to one method.
See which one works.
Just like advertising.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, for sure, dude. So for the sake of time, this is obviously the sales clinic, so it's not like the group call where we're gonna go one by one. So what I want to do is a couple things. First of all, I want to get your guys' thoughts and questions on the updated training. Anything you guys might be still unclear on, any concerns you have, things like that. And then once we do that, I'll have a couple of things I want to talk about. So let's start there. You guys can just chime in. You can unmute yourself and just say what you have. And if people talk over each other, we'll just, separate it down. So any one of you guys that has questions, like I said, thoughts, questions, concerns, anything about the new training. And if you guys don't have any, then I'll just talk about it.
Yeah, Sebastian. Oh, okay. You can go ahead, bro.
By the way, whoever's
Someone's typing.
Yeah, just mute yourself. I think that's James. I got it. All right, so whoever was about to go, let's hear it.
Yeah, Dawson. Yeah, I was about to go. So I had one quick question, and I believe I addressed it in the Facebook group last night, which was ultimately, how do I start off my initial contact with these people other than my connect? I mean, which method should I take? I mean, I feel like that is my only setback right now. Like, I've had a lot of people accept my connects, with the initial contact, which is, like, hey, I believe we can both be beneficial towards each other. Talk soon, something like that. But I don't know how to push it further. Now, once they accept my connect, do I instantly send them a voice message, or what exact move do I take after that?
Okay. So my question to that would be, have you watched all the training modules?
Almost every single one, except some of them in Sales 2.0.
Okay. So you have a couple options, right?
Okay.
So in terms of LinkedIn, as we've talked about, the goal is to not message them and get into any form of conversation on LinkedIn. The goal is to funnel them into getting on the phone with you.
Gotcha.
So with LinkedIn, you want to focus on getting them on the phone as soon as possible. Okay.
Yep.
So what we've been teaching is connect with them on LinkedIn, use that as your cold touch point. Okay. And then call them up by getting their phone number from their LinkedIn, because once you're connected with them, you get all their personal info.
Okay.
Call them up, say, hey, we connect on LinkedIn. That way it's no longer a cold call. Okay. It's a warm call now.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, we connect on LinkedIn. And that's when you go into the disqualifying, or the warm stage rather.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. That's all I need.
Does that make sense?
Yes, that does. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that was pretty much the only thing that was holding me back. like I have all the automation system part situated now. So that was pretty much, you know, everything I needed to finally figure out how to get them into the pipeline. So I'm good, and I appreciate that.
Cool. Also,
Yeah.
just as a general note for everybody, and we'll talk a little bit more about this in a second, but make sure that you're utilizing all of the different prospecting methods, because as I've said before, what we're doing is we're fishing, right? We're fishing, and the more lines you throw out into the water, the better your chances are of catching a fish.
Mm-hmm.
So in this case, your lines are your different methods of outreach: LinkedIn, Upwork, cold email, Facebook, organic. Okay. So that's probably one of the biggest points I want to hit on is don't feel like, okay, I'm just going to do LinkedIn or I'm just going to do Upwork. Right.
Yeah.
So who else had questions, concerns, thoughts?
Hey, Sebastian, Aaron Canlis here.
What's up, dude?
Yeah, man, awesome job with you and Brian doing the new dashboard. Just some things that I did a post about it, but I actually talked to Brian about it. Since we're on the group call or sales call, might as well bring it up as well. I mean, it's great. It's great having Aaron Martinez on board for the discovery calls. I was just kind of thinking for the new guys who are pretty on fire and trying to connect on LinkedIn and, you know, trying to go through disqualifying calls and going through the discovery calls, booking them, especially if they haven't done it before. I was just wondering, when would you and Brian be able to create that link for the, I guess, new members who come on board as well? So at least, you know, because right now Aaron's schedule is only Tuesday, Thursday that I see on the thing, which is okay. I mean, I get it. It's December. But for the guys who want to kind of go full force on the 3 discovery calls, assisted discovery calls, when do you think that link would be up and running? And also for the woodpecker stuff, I was wondering when would a demonstration video be up and running for that as well? Actually, no. You guys put a demonstration video for woodpecker, no?
We did. And also what we did also put, if I'm not mistaken, is, let me see here. Actually, you know what? That's my bad. We left one thing out, which was, okay, I'm going to have to get it from Brian. He has it. It's actually a step-by-step video walkthrough from Woodpecker themselves on their website.
Okay.
We're going to put that in today. And to answer your first question, so when you talked to Brian about that, what did he tell you?
No, I mean, for me personally, like, I had a one-on-one call with Brian, and he's awesome, man. Like, I just had like a limiting belief factor in my mind, in my mindset, and he was just like, you know, why would you wait for someone to be there on the discovery call? And I told him it was because I've never been on it before. But then again, at the same time too, I understand that, you know, the reason why I partnered with you guys in the first place is so I can become self-sufficient.
Exactly.
So for me personally, I really don't give a shit anymore. Like, I'm just going to do the discovery calls myself. But since you asked about the dashboard, just for the new members who are coming on board who are not sure, and, you know, who need that extra assistance, I was just, you know, kind of speak on their behalf. Because, I mean, I was in that spot, but at the same time too, now when I think about it, it's like, dude, I had to reschedule someone because of my limiting belief yesterday, you know?
Yep.
And that, you know, that hurts my business, right? Especially with the goals that I'm trying to do, and especially when you provided that YouTube link yesterday for Sam Ovens, you know, having monk discipline, you know, talking about, you know, if you don't sacrifice for your goals become a sacrifice. And that hit me really hard because, you know, I have a family, I have a wife and I have a daughter, and I have goals for next year. So, you know, for me, in terms of discovery calls, I don't have a problem with it anymore because Brian was able to clarify it with me, kind of walk me through it. But I was just talking about, like, in general, just to kind of make the program better. That's all. You know, having all the videos, you know, there, so, you know, we can just literally go there. Because, I mean, if we have the resources, might as well go through the resources before we even contact you guys. I know you guys are our mentors and everything, but I mean, you guys provide us as tools, so might as well, you know, do our due diligence, go through it. But I'm just saying, like, if we had those tools, then, you know, it kind of make it a bit easier.
Yep, for sure. So, one, for the discovery calls that you guys want to, like, not do yourselves, like the first 1 to 2. So how we're doing it now is Aaron is going to be getting on some of your guys' calls a couple times a week. Now, I am also opening up my calendar to one discovery call a day. So I'm going to have a few hours open on my calendar every single day as well. And that link or that button, the button with the link, whatever, will be up by today or tomorrow. However, as you said, man, yes, you guys, and this goes for everybody, you don't want those limiting beliefs to hold you back. So that's why what I wanted to do today, in addition to answering all you guys' questions, is actually go over specifically the discovery call script and how you should be conducting the discovery call and sort of the psychology behind it. But before I do that, like I said, I want to answer all the questions you guys have, concerns, everything. So let's just keep hearing them. So who else?
Hey, Sebastian.
Yep.
It's Dawson again. I have one quick question. So I was just overhearing that previous conversation you just had with Aaron. And so since I told you I only watched a part of the Sales 2.0 so far, are discovery call examples in that, or are they just live calls?
Yep. So, excuse me, by the way. Let me see here. There's 3. I could have swore there were 4, but no, there are 4. That's right. So that's what I'm saying. There are 4 live discovery calls that you can go watch.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to share my screen with you guys.
All right.
Right here. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Perfect.
Yep.
Perfect.
And what you guys will realize once you watch them is you'll start to see that there are a lot of similarities, and almost every call is identical because it's the same thing every time.
Awesome.
Same thing. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, that's all I needed. So I'm good.
Cool.
Thanks. I appreciate that.
No problem, man. Who's next? What else? What other questions, concerns? All right.
Hey, Sebastian. Aaron here. Aaron Callis again. Once again. Dude, just a question about the proposal examples, because I know that we're supposed to be doing the proposal by yourself. Oh yeah. I was just wondering when would that be available? I understand that there's sensitive information. I guess you guys are going to be doing some editing on some current calls that you guys have, or how's that going to work? Because I've never done a proposal either. I mean, if I had an example, that'd be cool. At least I could reference it and take notes and stuff. I was wondering when that would be hitting the dashboard.
Do you mean a proposal overview call?
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. So, by the way, what sound is that?
Who's self-checkout right now?
Yeah.
I know. Yeah.
You
That's
fuck.
Sorry, guys. That's me. I told you I was
kidding.
supposed to shut down.
Yeah, just mute your mic when you're not talking and unmute it when you are. Yeah, no worries, man. So we actually haven't recorded any proposal overview calls yet. Just haven't done it. Just have forgotten. But let's talk about it. Let's talk about the proposal overview and what that looks like. So we'll do that. We'll do the discovery, and then we'll do the proposal overview. But like I said, before I do, last call, any sales questions in general? Sales, this is all sales, guys. So that's what we're talking about. What objections are you guys running into when you're on the phone? What issues are you having? Where do you feel like you could improve? Let's hear it. Because I want to help you guys as much as possible.
I'll jump in with oh, okay, go ahead.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. Hey, Sebastian, I was just gonna ask. I had a call the other day with this lady, and thing is, she was kind of like skeptical about the whole thing because she invested money before and she didn't get a result. So she was still like remaining skeptical, and like I asked her all the questions that like you said in one of the calls which I saw you were doing, and then she still was like skeptical, and she was like, I don't know. So like what do you reckon you should do when they're still like kind of skeptical?
So a couple things. One, the biggest thing is that it's kind of difficult for me to because here's the thing. She could have been skeptical because she didn't trust you. So the best thing for you to do, and this goes for everybody, is you have to be constantly recording your calls and sending them into us, because the fastest way we can help you guys improve with your sales is literally by saying, okay, here's where you went wrong. Here's what to do on the next call. Okay. So that's why it's a little difficult for me to say, well, this is why she was skeptical, and this is what you should have did instead, because you could have been skeptical for a couple of reasons. It could have been something you said, could have been the way you were talking. It could have been, or it could have just genuinely have been the fact that she's been burned in the past. right? So like I said, it could be a few different things. So in that case, generally speaking, if somebody's skeptical, you got to figure out why. So why was she skeptical?
Because like she said, like she had this company do SEO for her, and like she was waiting for result, but it was not much, and then they were just like, oh yeah, they were like, oh yeah, it takes like a couple of months and blah blah blah. And then she also was like, well, I don't know if I want to like waste any more money on these kind of things if I can't see the result and stuff like that.
Yep, there we go. Classic situation. So it sounds to me, again, without me hearing the call, sounds to me like she's expected overnight success, overnight results. She expected, her expectations were way too high, and she was very impatient. She's probably not doing very well, so the money she was spending probably carried a lot of weight. And so in her mind, she just couldn't afford to continue, or she was just too impatient to continue. So again, it could have been a combination of the marketing company not setting proper expectations, right? She probably expected too much. Okay. And if she's saying things like, I don't want to waste money, she's already in a fucked up mindset, because she's looking at it as, oh my gosh, another expense. Not, okay, I'm going to put this in and get this out. So her mindset's all fucked up. Again, this is just pure speculation. This is just me guessing right now based off of what you're telling me. Obviously, I'd have to hear the call to give you a much better hypothesis or analysis.
Oh yeah, dude. Sorry to interrupt you, but yeah, I think so as well, because she was like, she never spent the money on marketing much. Like she was like 6 months in the business and she's making like $4K a month, and then she was looking at it like oh wow, like I have to spend $750 a month. Oh wow, that's like over budget.
Yeah, because she's not doing well. Yeah, that's just one of those businesses, or one of those instances where the business is genuinely just not doing well. So who is she? What type of business?
Spa.
Yeah, I don't like spas. Seriously.
I tried them as well, and they were,
Yeah, they're broke. They're weird.
It's fact.
Fucking weirdos.
They're all fucking weirdos. They're barefoot yoga people.
Jesus.
I wouldn't fuck with spas, to be honest, man.
Yeah, Sebastian, were spas one of your options for the niche, the potential niches to look into, or was that not on the list?
I don't believe so. If it is, then I need to update it, because it's not a good niche.
Yeah.
Can I give you a little story about med spas I used to work with?
Yeah, go for it.
I mean, it's not a story. It's historically, they're really like, a lot of times when you're dealing with like the actual company, you're dealing with a lot of women, and their pride is fucking insane. So when I've worked with like 3 or 4 med spas in the past, and every single one, their follow-up was shit.
Yep.
Not only that, and then I tried like working out with like, not with the actual company, but with like a girl specifically, and that like one worked out. But again, like they just don't, if it's just one person, they don't have like the money to be able to keep up with what we're providing, if that makes sense, especially if you're outsourcing to Dash Clicks.
Oh yeah, dude. I was gonna say like I've had so many of them when I schedule the calls with them, and even send them the emails, reminders and shit, and they still don't show up for the call. Like that happened 6 times last week.
Yeah, just stop wasting your time.
Yep. So don't go after them, dude. Switch niches. Seriously. Simple as that. I usually don't tell people to switch industries just like that. But yeah, switch them.
Okay, cool.
Hey, Sebastian, when you're ready, I got a quick question.
I'm here, dude. Let's hear it.
So, something that I'm dealing with is, connecting with people on LinkedIn, and then I go and I call them, and I'm getting a lot of people answer. And when I want to do my disqualifying call, it's lasting like a half hour, and everyone's just super open to talk to me. and they're telling me their entire life story, and I'm getting a lot of good information. And I guess my question to you is that it seems like I'm knocking out the disqualifying call and the discovery call all in one call. And when I want to hop on a second call, I almost don't know what to say because I have all the information I need. Do you think that the next steps is just call them back and kind of recap with them on everything and then go to a proposal?
So my question to you is, number one, have you checked the updated scripts for disqualifying call?
Yeah, and I don't know if I should just cut them off because they'll just keep going.
So that's because you haven't set proper boundaries.
Okay.
So you need to be the one in control.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you would recommend doing disqualifying and then calling them, doing a discovery, and then doing the proposal, and not doing disqualifying and discovery at once.
Yeah, exactly. It really a lot of times just depends on them. So ideally, right? Excuse me. You want to disqualify them first, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So let me pull up the script real quick. I'm gonna share my screen with you guys. So you're just running. You again, you have to set the pace. Okay, you have to set the pace. It's like I'm just gonna ask you a few questions to see if it makes sense for us to continue the conversation and have a longer conversation. Is that cool? Yeah, that's cool. Okay, cool. So real quick, what are you guys doing for marketing right now? Boom. Cool. Do you have any goals for the business for the next 6 months? They'll probably give you, yeah, we want to do blah, blah, blah. Okay, cool. Why haven't you done any XYZ? Might be SEO, Google AdWords, Facebook. Depends on the industry, right? Why haven't you done any of that? Just curious. Oh, well, we blah, 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 blah. Okay. And last question real quick. Why haven't you started working with an agency? Well, we blah, 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 blah. Get their answer, boom, boom, boom. Okay? Awesome. I definitely think there is a lot of room for us to help. However, what I'd like to do is dive a bit deeper into your goals and into your business before I start recommending any sort of plans of action. Does that sound fair? Of course, they're going to say yes. Cool. And you set the appointment. And that's where you set the discovery call. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And then was budget in there too?
Do you see budget?
I don't. No.
So it's not. Don't overthink it, man.
Okay.
Just follow the script. Just be laid back, nonchalant. Okay.
Okay.
We put this here and gave all these things to you guys for a reason, because they work. Remember, keep it simple, stupid. Don't overcomplicate it. Okay. You guys have to be the ones that's setting the tone for the call. So did you guys hear the way I just said that? Because this script works, but if you don't know how to properly deliver it, it's not going to work. Mm-hmm. Right? So my tone is very nonchalant, but it's also like, this is just going to be super quick. Okay. So for Nate and for everybody else that's listening, is this all making any type of sense?
It is for me.
Yep. Okay. Any questions about the disqualifying call? You guys can also drop them in the chat if you want. Yes, no, maybe so.
I'm just gonna ask like a general sales question. This is something that that I got within the past couple of calls. And before the calls, I asked Brian, because I knew it was going to be inevitable. But for people that don't know, what would you say for people that, let's say you go through the script, the process or whatever, and the prospect seems obviously skeptical, but they're like, okay, what's your website? Where are your case studies?
Okay. So if they're saying that, again, I as I always say, you got to look at the reason why somebody would say that. So, Aaron, do you get that often?
No, I just got it. I got it on one call the other day, and then before Brian just told me to kind of the only reason that they say that is when they're either skeptical or they kind of and this happened, and it's weird when he said it, but they say it like in a like I got you kind of way, and I like thinking back and I was like, that was like this is exactly what happened. But I think on that call specifically, it was just because like I hadn't worked like they knew that I had worked with a specific industry, but not like in their area. So they were just like, well, how do you know it's going to work? And then they got like super defensive.
And that was on the discovery or the disqualifying?
That was on the discovery.
Okay. So yeah, again, first of all, it doesn't happen to you often, right?
No, that was just the one time.
Yeah, that's my point. So it doesn't happen very often to you because people generally tend to trust you because of the way you speak. I'm going to be honest, guys. At this point, I've done a lot of, and for those of you guys that have Hakeem and some of the other guys here that have heard me on their discovery calls, I've done a shit ton of them, not just, in general, obviously for my own agency, but I've also done a shit ton of them recently for you guys. And I sincerely cannot recall a single time anybody has asked for a website, for case studies, for anything like that. Never. It doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. Because they trust me and I'm saying the things that they know are what they need to hear. Okay. So again, for those of you guys that are getting these types of objections, they're all smoke and mirrors. They're like called like shadow objections, right? They're covering up for something else. They don't give a fuck about your website. You could, if they say that and you send them their website, it's not going to change a thing. If they say that and you send them case studies, it won't change a thing. Because what that's covering up for is they're so freaking skeptical. They're so skeptical, they just don't trust you as far as they can throw you. So Dawson said it's primarily the confidence level. Yes, it's the confidence level. It's the, excuse me, sorry guys. It's the matter of factness, as I say, in your tonality. It's also the nonchalantness. So when I say confidence, I don't mean, hey, how's it going today? No, that's Grant Cardone. That's what puts people's whiskers up, as I say, okay? The way I'm talking to you guys right now is just how I like laid back, chill, nonchalant. There's not too much going on in terms of my tonality. It's just laid back. And guys, what you also need to have the confidence to do, as I've said, is if they really are skeptical and they continue to push that skepticism on you, like, look, I'm going to be honest with you, whatever their name is. It sounds like you're super skeptical right now. And if that's the way our working relationship is going to start, then it probably doesn't make sense to continue it. So I just don't know if we're the best fit if we're already starting off on a lack of trust. Okay. Aaron said for the discovery call, what are we selling? The proposal appointment. Reason I ask is because the discovery call seems more like a fact find. Yep. That's what I'm going to go over right now. So before I do, guys, do you guys have any questions about what I just said? Like, is that making sense? Because like I said, I don't want to say things and brush over them and you guys are still confused. I want to make sure that you guys are clearly understanding everything. Because this is the stuff that's going to really help you level up.
That makes sense.
Okay.
Someone actually said that to me the other day.
Cool. If you sound unsure, that's going to raise their red flags. Okay. Tonality, again, guys. Now, before I jump into the discovery call stuff, let me just give you guys just one quick touch point on tonality. Yes, Aaron, exactly. That is it. So Aaron said in the chat box, what I gather from what you said is not to be afraid to lose the client. Yes, exactly. That's what I'm trying to drill into your guys' brains is if you're afraid to lose the client, you're operating out of scarcity. Okay, you need to operate out of abundance, AKA in layman's terms, not giving an absolute fuck whether or not you work with the client or not. Okay. Yep. So anyways, back to tonality. I'm gonna give you guys something really, really helpful to help me so much. It's very small, it's very subtle, so you need to really keep an eye out for this when you do this yourself. If you end your sentences on a high note, meaning, so I just want to find out more about your business. Okay? that is a sign of weakness. That is a sign of not being sure. That is a sign of a lack of confidence. Hey, where are you from? Hey, what's your name? So how much are you guys doing in revenue this year? You guys catching it? You seeing it?
Yes.
Yep. Now the difference is, what's your revenue look like? What's your name? So where are you from? What are the goals for the business? See the difference? What are the goals for the business? What are the goals for the business? Versus, so what are the goals for the business? Is this making sense? Can you guys see the difference?
Yeah.
Cool. Michael said, I have a funny story about this kind of tonality. Let's hear it. Unmute your shit.
Yeah. So basically, I learned about this. I was in one seminar in the US, and I learned about this, and then I went to this. I think it was like a pizza place nearby just to get some dinner, and then I went to the waitress came up, and I was just and we just started talking, and then it was like, so where are you from? And then she was like, her face like changed, and she was like, what do you mean? Like, it was crazy, man.
Yep, that shit works. We don't teach this kind of stuff for nothing. Or just, we don't pull this shit out of our ass.
Did you get her number or no?
Nah, dude, she was not my type anyway.
Savage.
So yeah, guys, this is the stuff that really levels up your sales game. Not a script, not a whatever, not a fucking nothing. Your tonality, okay? Even if you're saying stupid shit, if you're saying it in a way that, and I'm not telling you guys to say stupid shit, but if you're saying stupid stuff and stuff that it doesn't really make a ton of sense, but you're saying it in a way that you are just you have the utmost confidence in what you're saying. Doesn't matter what you're saying, people are going to believe you. It's just how it goes, right? So tonality, okay? Tonality is everything. Now, what I think probably I'm going to do is on the next sales clinic with Brian on here, what we'll do is do kind of like a role play type of thing where because I need to hear everybody's tonality in order to tell you where to fix it. So, because I can tell you guys all the tonality things, but in order for me to help you personally, I need to hear how you're sounding and how you can change it. Because some of you guys might be going too low. You might be going too firm, like, so what are the goals for the business? That's like too tyrannical, right? So it could be a bunch of different things where you're messing up. So point is, send your calls in to fucking support, all right? Send your calls into us, and we'll get them reviewed for you guys. Any other questions? Any other questions? Let's hear them. Cool. If you guys want, so there's a couple ways you can email send your calls in. So you can email them to either Brian or myself or Aaron. All three of us have our name at agencyhypergrowth.com is the email. Or you can upload them to YouTube as an unlisted video, right? Throw that into the Facebook group if you want to be a little vulnerable. Let everybody hear your calls. It's totally up to you, obviously. Brian always says to remember that you're the alpha in the situation. So by being worried about clients, not being confident in your services, not having good tonality, etc., all take away your position and give the client the authority. Yes, 100%, dude. And the thing is, what a lot of people mess up on or fail to understand is that it's not one thing, right? It's a culmination of a couple different things. It's a culmination of your tonality's fucked up, your lack of confidence, your subconscious worry about not getting clients. Okay. All these different things all chip in to knocking off the amount of authority you have on the call. Is this all making sense, guys? Before I start jumping into some heavy shit with the discovery call. Let me get a couple yeses in the chat so I know you guys, so I know I'm not leaving anything.
Yeah,
Okay,
cool.
cool.
Sounds good.
Makes sense, man.
Cool, cool, cool. All right, so we got the disqualifying call out of the way. And again, if you guys want to go back to that, we can. Let me pull up the discovery call script, and let's get this bad boy knocked out. So we're going to go a little deep here, guys. We're going to really dissect this fucker. Okay, so before I do, who has looked at the discovery call script and who has questions about it right off the bat? If you do, unmute yourself because I can't see the chat right now. That way I can know what specific things to answer. If not, I'm just going to get into it. And if you do, you can chime in if you want. All right, so for those of you guys that have heard me, and this is why I keep telling you guys to go right over here and listen to these 4 calls, particularly these 3. These 3, you'll realize, are nearly identical. And Nate can tell you, because I was on 2 of his. They're almost identical, literally. Zero objections. No, barely any pushback, right? Because that's the way you frame it. So you start your calls just with some basic small talk. What's up, whatever their name is? How's it going? Nonchalant, laid back, right? Please, guys, like you got to make sure, just don't overdo it. Like you got to think of it, okay, I'm just talking to my friend. How's your week going? Boom, 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 right? You just go a little bit back and forth. They tell you, yeah, it's going good, just hustling a lot. It's like, yeah, I feel you, man. I'm kind of in the same boat. Boom. You just got to know how to conversate, right, guys? And then this is where you guys, in a very nice way, in a non-tyrannical way, pull them back in. Because right now, they haven't really been placed into any boundaries yet. You haven't set any boundaries for the call yet because you're still doing some small talk. This is where you start to set the boundaries very subtly. Awesome, man. Yeah, so if you're ready to just kind of jump into some things, if you're ready to go, we can go ahead and get started. Now, before you continue, you got to make sure you get them to verbally agree and say, yeah, let's do it, or yeah, let's go. Okay? And this is where you actually set the tone. This is where you really set the boundaries for the call. And again, guys, you can go and watch these calls, and I say these things. I say these exact things on those calls. Okay? And that's why they work so well. So this is how I would say it. Let's say their name is Bob. I would either call them by their name, or I'd just be like, cool, man. You know, look, I'm sure you probably get pitched by plenty of marketing companies, right? You probably talk to a ton of people every week trying to sell you something. We do things a little differently. Okay, I'm not going to sit here and try and, one call close you or anything stupid like that, right? And again, this is where you throw a little bit of a laugh in. Because what you're doing is you're making them understand that the people they've talked to so far are amateurs because they've tried to sell them on something. Okay. And then you could even throw in things like, again, very quickly, just like, yeah, I'm not going to sit here and try and one call close you or anything silly like that. We barely just met. We got to take things a little slower. And guys, what this does is it brings their walls down because now they don't feel like they're on a sales call. They don't feel like they're being pitched. They feel like they're just talking. Okay. And honestly, Bob, it's probably a really good chance I'm not even going to make any type of offer. Okay. So boom, that's how you frame it. Before I continue, actually, let me finish the setting the tone part. So I'm just going to ask you a few questions about your business. Learn more about some of your goals, things like that. And if at the end I feel like I can help you, if I do, and I think it might make sense, then we can talk about what that looks like. But if not, if it doesn't make sense, then that's totally cool. It doesn't make sense, right? So sound good? Cool. Boom. I've yet to have somebody say no to that. I've yet to have somebody give me pushback on that. So before I continue, any questions on that? Any questions on the opening up / setting the tone of the call? Yes or no?
Nope.
Sounds good so far.
Cool. So, guys, you need to understand, why did they get on the call with you in the first place, right? Because people don't just get on calls for nothing, right? They don't. And if they do, then you need to get them off of the call as soon as possible, all right? Because they're not somebody you want to be talking to. Awesome, Bob. So tell me what kind of, and this is where I like to throw in something like, I know I'm sure you're probably a super busy guy, right? What kind of motivated you to take the time out of your day to talk with us and get on the call? And it's, as you guys can hear, it's not, so Bob, tell me what motivated you to get on the call today? No, it's just like, so like, like basically saying like, why are we talking, dude? Why are we on the phone? Okay. And it gets them to qualify themselves. So next up, once they've done that, this is where you need to like actually start understanding their business, right? So what exactly do they do, right? What are they selling? Okay. What are they pricing it at? Things like that. Who is their ideal customer? And you guys don't overthink this. It's very simple as like, so who's your ideal customer? Tell me a little bit more about that. Okay. Generally speaking, what is that priced at? Okay. And you just boom, knock out onto the next question. Boom, boom, boom. Whatever they give you. Okay. Now, here's where you start to dig a little deeper into their pain points, okay? So you need to ask them, so Bob, do you feel like with the way you're currently getting customers, clients, do you feel like you have a process in place to get customers at will? Now, sometimes they are a little confused as to what exactly that means. So before they can answer, right, unless they answer like right away, usually as a follow-up statement, I'll say something along the lines of, so I'll say, do you have a process to get in place to get customers at will? Like, do you have something you feel like you can call on? Do you feel like you have something where okay, if you do X, Y, Z, you're going to be able to get this amount of clients every single week, every month? Do you feel like you have that? Most of the time, the answer is no. Okay. And if the answer is yes, then this is where it gives you a chance to cut things off. Now, what do I mean by that? Actually, you know what? I want to make sure you guys are understanding this stuff. Before I tell you what I mean, what do you guys think I mean by that?
I mean, I actually I wouldn't say like I've gotten this objection. But what I think is like, they'll say something like they are doing their own marketing. And I guess they think that they have somewhat of a process in place.
Yep.
Maybe.
Yep. Anybody else?
Yeah, I've gotten the same comment before, but I really don't know the proper way on how to cut off the conversation, or other than just, all right, bye. Normally it would not go like that, but I don't have an actual script or anything for it.
Yep. So if they say something like, yeah, I think we do. Okay, cool. So then, I guess you don't really need our help then. Sounds like you got everything figured out. Yeah. And then you put the ball back in their court. They're forced to say something.
Mm-hmm.
In which case they'll either say something like, very, I don't want to say very rarely, but from time to time, you will get those people that are just like, I guess we don't need any help. And it's like, okay, cool. Well, enjoy the rest of your day, but
I've had someone like that.
Yeah. So in that case,
hard and I was like, ooh.
Yeah, in that case, it's just, okay, cool. Enjoy your day. You don't need us. And that saves you time. It saves you sales energy. Okay. Secondly, if they do the opposite, if they're like, let me start back again. Ideally, and most of the time, the answer is no. All right. So I'm just telling you guys like how to handle things if they do come up. But most of the time, you're going to get something along the lines of, no, not really. I don't feel like we have predictability. Okay. Which is good. You want them to admit that. And again, guys, I don't think I put this in the script, but one note I want to make is that what you need to be doing is taking notes. Because what you're going to do at the end is rephrase or regurgitate rather everything they told you. Because what that'll do is it's going to show them that you fully understand their situation. Okay. Now, next question, we're basically asking them what their sales process looks like. Now, here's where a lot of you guys are going to mess up. I didn't want to put too much of this stuff in the script because I didn't want it to get over crammed and just too overwhelming, right? But what you guys should do is rewatch this sales clinic call afterwards so that you can really hammer this at home. What you want to do is you want to pre-frame your question. So in this case, when you're asking what their normal sales process is to take somebody from a stranger to a paying client, instead of just saying it, hey, what's the normal sales process from stranger to paying client with you? Pre-frame it by saying, okay, cool. So another quick question I had, and the reason why I'm asking this is because we have had situations in the past with some of our clients where we have actually, we've gotten the phones ringing, we've done what we've needed to do. We got appointments coming in, we got inquiries, all the things we set out to do and goals we set out to achieve for them, we did on our part. But unfortunately, some of the clients we worked with didn't have the best sales process, right? They would let the phones go unanswered. They wouldn't call leads back, things like that. So it became a little bit messy, okay? Now, if you guys don't have clients and that's never happened to you, don't stress it, okay? It's just an analogy to use to help them understand the question better. So don't freak out about that. So for you, what does the normal sales process look like to take somebody from a stranger to a paying client? And that's when they're going to tell you, okay? And then you ask them, okay, cool. Are you comfortable with operating the business the way you are right now? Like, do you want to stick with it, with the way you're doing things? Okay. Now, this question, you can ask it in a few different ways. Usually what I like to do is to pre-frame it. I'll go, okay, cool. So let's talk about numbers for a second. So that way it doesn't seem like a big deal. She's like, let's talk about numbers. What are you doing now in terms of revenue, and where do you want to get to in the next 12 months? That's usually how I would say it. Cool. Makes sense, guys?
Yes.
Yeah. Because here we go. Where do you want to grow the business to in the next 12 months? Okay. Now, this is a good question. I like this one. So you can tell them what's kind of the motive for wanting to get to whatever they tell you. So I remember with Nate, we were talking to a realtor. I believe it was Nate. Oh no, it was, I think it was Aaron. Can't remember. We talked to somebody who was currently doing 7.5 million and wanted to get to 14 or 15 million. So basically,
Yeah, that was Doug.
Yeah, they basically wanted to double their revenue. And I asked him, I said, so dude, you want to go from 7.5 to 15? That's no small feat. What's the motive for that? What's the motive for wanting to get there? And he said something like, well, I want to make the public stock higher or something like that. And that's not a fucking motive. I said, okay, what's the motive for that? Why do you want to do that? That's where he started to say, like, I forget, like long-term wealth and stuff.
He said wealth, yeah.
Yeah, something like that. So you want to understand what their motivation is. Okay. Now, this is where you start to regurgitate what they just told you, okay? All right, Bob, so the business is currently doing XYZ a month, and you want to get it to XYZ a month in the next 12 months. What do you feel like is stopping you from achieving that on your own? Or the other option is something along the lines of, what do you feel like is holding you back from getting there? Okay. Now, ideally, you want them to say things like this. We want to speed up the growth. We don't really have this. We don't have what we need right now to do it. Or we want to have, we want to follow something that we know works, things like that, right? Basically, the concept, the philosophy here is you want them to verbally make it clear that they don't know what the fuck they're doing and how they're going to get there. Okay. Another question I like to ask is this one here. So the business is doing, 20,000 a month, 30,000 a month. Why not just keep it there? Why not just stay where you're at? Okay. Here's where it gets fun. So this is where you tell them, this is where you start to regurgitate the information. Okay. Okay, cool. So Bob, and this is why you have to write down notes, guys. So you told me that you're currently doing XYZ for marketing. You told me that, sorry guys, let me take a step back. This is how I like to pre-frame it. Again, you got to pre-frame everything for the most part. So Bob, I'm just going to go over everything you told me because I want to make sure that I fully understand your situation. That way I can give you my recommended plans of action that I think are going to help you best. Is that cool? And that's another way to get some more verbal agreement for them, get them saying yes. Yeah, that's cool. Okay. And this is where you regurgitate everything. So you're doing this for marketing. This is the type of results you're seeing. This is where the business is at. This is where you want to get to. You feel like you are missing the boat on this. You're just literally just regurgitating everything they told you, right? And then at the end you say, did I miss anything? Does that all sound about right? And they're going to be like, no, that's correct. Okay, cool. So based off of all that, based off of everything you just told me, honestly, man, I think we can definitely help you. I think we can help you go from whatever they said they're doing to wherever they're at. To wherever they want to get to. Now, I'm going to tell you guys the problem where most people fuck up on this. Where a lot of amateurs and marketers that have no idea what they're doing trip up on is they will do something like, yeah, I think we can help with that. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to start running Facebook ads, and that way we're going to get in front of your target audience, and then we're going to do retarget, and then it's just like, what the fuck, right? No one gives a fuck about that. So instead of ranting and rambling on, what you need to do is, again, get their verbal agreement and get them to verbally say yes. So it's almost like what you're doing is like, it's very nonchalant. Do you want me to tell you about that? Do you want me to tell you about what we do? And then that way, if they say no, it's like, oh, okay, cool. All right, it's fine. I'm not going to tell you then. It's like basically saying, I'm only going to tell you if you want it. Like, do you want me to tell you? Okay. And then 90% of the time, it's going to be like, yeah, let's hear it. And again, as I said, only proceed to explain how you can help if they verbally tell you that they want to hear about it. Okay. So this is where we create the urgency and the mystique around what it is that we do. So Bob, our area of expertise is really helping plumbers get clients and customers coming to them at will and on demand so that you can have that predictability in your revenue that you mentioned you're looking for and you feel like you're lacking, especially as you start to scale the business up. So here's what I'd like to do. Like I said in the beginning, dude, like I said, and again, this is where what I was saying before, where you want to talk to them as if they're a friend, okay? Saying man and dude and things like that. Like I said, man, at the beginning of the call, I told you, and I did promise you, that I would not sit here and try and one call close you. And I'm going to keep that promise because honestly, if I were to try and give you a plan of action and pull some random, price or some random numbers out of my ass, it would be doing you a disservice and quite frankly would make me look like a complete amateur. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to talk with the fulfillment team, and based off of your goals and what you told me you want to do and how quickly you want to move, we'll put a plan together. Okay, and if it makes sense, we can move forward and get the ball rolling. Sound good? Cool. Okay, so let's schedule another time to talk, and we'll go over that plan and see if it's something you want to move forward with. Boom. And one thing I want to add in, guys, what I did, Aaron, I don't know, I'm not sure if you remember Aaron Martinez, on that call we had with that big solar company. At the very end, I said something that a lot of marketers would shit their pants trying to say, which was, hey, dude, honestly, I feel like we had a pretty good conversation. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't see any reason why we can't work together and why you wouldn't want to move forward. Is there any reason why you wouldn't want to move forward? And it was like, no.
He was very matter of fact. He was super personable, but at the end of the day, you knew the way that Sebastian when it came down to tonality, and it's crazy to you guys will hear these if you haven't listened to all the calls, but it's crazy how Sebastian does it, but he'll match their energy like a snap of the finger. And with him, he was matter of fact, so Sebastian was the same way, and it just went smooth the entire call.
Yep. 100%. So that's how you do it, guys. That's how you do the discovery call. Doesn't have to be super complicated, like I said, but there are a lot of places you can mess up. A lot. Now, I'm going to stop sharing my screen. I want to take some questions, things you guys are wondering about. If you want me to share my screen again, if you want to look at the script, and we can dive deep into some of the things on there. But let's hear it, guys. You can unmute yourself. You don't have to throw them in the chat. You can speak up. Either way.
Hey, Sebastian.
Yo, what's up,
So
dude?
when you say, what's up, man? So when you say there's a lot of places to mess up, you mean mess up because of not what we say, but how we say it? Is that what you're referring to?
100%.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. I just wanted to clarify that.
For sure, dude. Michael said, is this in the dashboard? Yep, everything's in the dashboard. Everything is there. All these scripts, the discovery, the proposal overview script, everything.
Hey, Sebastian, I got a quick question.
Shoot.
Which is, I know somebody mentioned this a couple days ago, and it was involving the a possible follow-up. So I know, and I remember you mentioned something about you guys rarely follow up anyways, but if you do, for what situation would you follow up at? I mean, after the conversation would collapse in the middle or at the end, because obviously at the beginning, I know that you mentioned, and there was a critical turn point in the conversation when you'd ask, do you guys need marketing or how's your marketing? Obviously, then if they would say no, then or yes, we're good, then obviously I know a follow-up is needed. But after that, when would a follow-up be necessary?
Yeah, good question. So honestly, man, I haven't seen a ton of situations where, conducting the calls the way I just told you and showed you guys, conducting the calls the right way. I haven't seen a ton of situations where that has happened and then I had to follow up. Usually if you have to follow up, it's generally speaking because they're not fully sold. Yeah, they're just not there. You haven't done your job on the calls to really dig out the bigger pain points or bigger objections. I mean,
gotcha.
If you have to follow up, it's probably because they blew you off on the call and gave you some BS excuse. So now you have to keep nagging them.
All right. Yeah, cool. I mean, plus I know that, and what you've stressed about is that there's so many opportunities. So I was just making sure. So that, I mean, I'm expecting to not come across that a lot. Plus I know, like you said, that even if they are trying to be a pain in the ass, then, it might end up being that they're not even interested initially. So, all right. That's all I need to know. I appreciate it, brother.
Cool, man. Yeah, you got it. What else? I want to make sure I'm helping you guys as possible. Nate said, thank you for your time. Nathan, I like the presentation. Would you have stats on the conversion rate, on the quality of the leads from other agents you're working with? So can you give me some context to that, man?
Yeah, so after I got off the call with him for a while, he said I liked it, presentation went well, and then was kind of, he didn't necessarily say I want case studies or anything. He did ask for references, and I gave him the non-disclosure line, and he kind of laughed a little bit at it and chuckled and was like, oh, okay, like I guess I understand that. I don't know if he kind of, read that was bullshit or not. I don't really know. And then, after the call a little bit, then he sent me this email.
Gotcha.
And this just reminded me of the follow-up thing, because I did send him some case studies that I got from a friend, and now I'm wondering if I should call him back and say, hey, how did everything look that I sent you?
So right now, you're in a position of you're the beta.
Yeah, 100%.
He's the alpha.
Mm-hmm.
He is qualifying you. He's job interviewing you. Probably because you didn't set the boundaries properly in the very start of the call. That's probably what it was. That's why I always say, guys, the way you start your calls is so.
Well, Brian hopped on this call with me like a while back.
Okay. And I'm guessing there was a second call?
And then there was a second call where I went over the proposal.
Yeah. So on that call is probably where you fucked up.
Okay.
Now, again, I can only help you guys so much without hearing your calls. That's why I'm trying to emphasize any calls, whether it's disqualifying, discovery, proposal overview, send them in. Send them in, and if you want to be vulnerable, throw them in the Facebook group, because that way other people can hear other struggles. Or sorry, everybody else can hear struggles that they might be having as well.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So
for something like this, situation, would you just completely ignore him and he's gone?
Yeah, because the problem is there's a lot of places you could have done things to avoid this from happening, but it's almost past that.
Yeah.
Right. So, yeah, this is tricky, man. Yeah, that's a tricky one. Like I said, because it's already so deep into the weeds in terms of him being the alpha in this situation that it's gonna be hard for you to dig yourself out, because he wouldn't be asking you these questions if you were the alpha.
Yeah, or if he didn't establish that trust with me.
Mm-hmm. Or no, if you didn't establish that trust with him.
Or with him, yeah.
Yeah, 100%, man. So, yeah, those questions just won't come up if you properly position yourself, especially the thing with the case studies and things like that. Again, like I said, guys, that doesn't even come up anymore. My sales process, which is the exact same one I'm showing you guys, is to the point where those things just don't even come up. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if those thoughts don't even come up in the minds of the people I'm talking to, because that's how much trust I instill with them. Now, another thing I wanted to throw out to you guys, and this was literally just a thought and just an idea I had yesterday, I think it was, just something that popped into my head. I don't know. I'd like to get your guys' thoughts on this, but I don't know if it would help. It might not. Who knows? We can start testing it. But if you guys want, when you're on your calls, you can talk a little bit about yourself and how you got started, and you can say you can say my business partner, and you can use me as your business partner, and use my because if you guys Google me, you can find my news fucking video and stuff. You can say, yeah, you can go ahead and Google my business partner's name. His name is Sebastian Robeck. You can find some info on him on there, and him and I are working together, something like that. That way it gives you guys a little bit of a tie to some social proof. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, because what I do on the calls is tell them that. Say, hey, you can go look me up, dude. You can see some stuff on me. That way, I'm not some weird marketer coming out of the abyss. Because the biggest thing is, guys, you want to instill a massive amount of trust. That's the biggest thing. Big time. Let's go, guys. I want to hear some questions, man. I want to help you guys out as much as possible.
Hey, this is a random question. Where's Brian?
I have no idea.
I mean,
no, I think he's got like a family party or something like that.
Fam shit. Gotcha.
Probably his bar mitzvah.
That's why you guys get the wonderful opportunity to hear me scream at you.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, obviously, I ain't got no problem. It's like I'm just wondering, where has he been? But yeah, we'll talk to him later.
Michael said, what are the signs they are not a good client in terms of money, like they're stingy? So, guys, a couple things. First thing I'll say is this. When it comes to money, right, and I think Brian has talked about this, but it's so true. Whatever your mindset about money is, whatever you think about money is going to subconsciously reflect upon the people you're talking to. That's why when Hakeem, I don't know if you're still on here, that's why when him and I talked to that lawyer about, we had the discovery call, that's why when I told him the price of the contract and I said it's $12K, he had
zero objection.
Zero objections, because $12K is not a lot of fucking money. $12K is nothing. $12K is peanuts. Okay? But if you think, fuck, $12,000, man, that's a lot of fucking money. Without you saying that, even if you don't say that, that thought is it's in your subconscious. Okay? So you're going to reflect that on the people you're talking to. So before you start asking, how do you overcome objections with money and stuff, Michael, you need to fix your mindset on money, because you're probably having some form of issue with yourself. And I'm not saying that there's something wrong with you or anything like that. I'm just saying your thought process around money might be a little wacky. Who just jumped on? I can't see.
Yeah, it's kind of late.
Fucking
Oh,
slack.
it was. I think it was Aaron. He left and then he joined back.
Okay, gotcha. No, I'm just messing with you guys. But because what you guys got to understand is this: businesses have money. Okay, they're not broke. Most businesses are not genuinely broke. I've said this many times. Okay, so if money is 90% of the time, money is not the issue. It's not that they don't have money. Because if a business does not have $1,000, $1,000 to spend, or $2,000 to spend a month on SEO or whatever it is, start growing their business. If they actually like don't have it, as in like that money, they don't have enough in the business bank account, run the other way. Run the other way. Okay? Because that means their business is fucked up. And they don't know what they're doing, and they probably shouldn't even be in business. Bye, Felicia is fucking right.
Yeah.
All right. Jim said, I thought my prices were too high for a specific business. Then I found out they were paying $3,000 in direct mail. Yes. It's not about money. It's about, do they see the value? Do they trust you? Do they see how it can get them to blank from where they are? Okay. It's never about the money. So get that out of your head, dude. Everybody, it's not about the money. It's never about it. It's never about the price, bro. Because if you have the utmost confidence in when you slate the price, and you have the utmost confidence in your offer and what you can do for the client, then price is nothing. It's not even a thing. Okay? It's not even a fucking thing. Literally. Okay? So, does that make sense, guys? Let me know. Cool.
Yeah, maybe I have one actually.
Yeah, let's hear it, dude. What's up, man?
Sorry, my voice is a little bit weird. I'm really sick right now, but
No problem.
in the proposal call, so well, I mean, when you talk about the price, would you say like it's better to go higher, and then if he's really struggling with the price you're saying, is it better to like lower it down a little bit? Like if he's really struggling, like let's say you say, okay, so SEO it's $2,000 per month, 6 month contract, that's $12,000, and he's like, listen, I really need it. I know I need it. My business is like struggling and everything. So how about like 1,500? Or like he started like negotiating with you. What would you say?
Let me ask you a question. Has that happened to you yet?
Has that?
Yeah.
Well, the guy I talked to yesterday, he's struggling, and like he really needs help, but like, yeah.
So what did he say? Is that what he said?
Well, he said to me like, I have like 500. Yeah, listen, he said I have 500. That's my budget per month. I said, listen, I'll be really honest with you. 500 is, I mean, we can make it work. We definitely can. So he said,
no, stop. That's where you fucked up. Hold on. Number one, what type of business?
He's a roofer. Well, I mean, he's subcontracting right now, so he's not really a roofer yet.
Okay, so he works for a roofing company?
Yeah, he takes contracts from people, and then he did the jobs. But like, he's not fully a roofer yet.
What's he making a month?
I have no idea.
There you go. You see, so you guys see what I'm getting at? And by the way, man, if it feels like I'm like coming down on you, I'm not. I just really want to make things. I want to give you guys like as much clarity as possible.
Exactly.
So that's not the problem. You just didn't figure out his whole situation completely, which is okay. It's cool because now you guys have the tools to do that.
Well, what do you mean by the whole situation?
So you don't know how much he's making. You probably don't know a lot of other things.
Well, he told me a lot of things. He told me like, listen, my business is in the red. Like every money I get.
Wait. There you go. That's what I'm saying. There you go. Run the other way. Run the other way. That's it. His business is in the red. The guy's a subcontractor. He has no idea what the fuck he's doing. He's not a business person. To Mama Luke, he's a fucking idiot.
Can I add one thing?
Go.
So with him too, like you would definitely want to figure out his sales process as well, because if he's just subcontracting and he's like running a one-man show, if you were to up his SEO and get him like 3 clients, like what is he gonna do? You know what I mean? And then that just comes back to he's gonna blame it on you. If you bring in the clients and he's not able to, keep up with it, he's gonna be like, well, you brought me these leads too fast or some shit like that.
That's what I'm saying, guys. Yeah, so you got to really, that's the purpose of the discovery calls, really to diagnose and actually understand their situation.
Yeah.
Okay. Because that'll allow you to make an informed decision about whether or not you should even make an offer. That's why, guys, like, this is where a lot of people mess up too, is they think that like those things I see in the beginning were like, hey, I'm not going to one call close you. I'm only going to make an offer if I feel like it makes sense. A lot of people think that those are just lines. That those are like pre-scripted, lines that are there purely for the sake of trying to look good. No, it's genuine. You're actually trying to figure out if you even want to make an offer to this person. And things like being a subcontractor, their business being in the red, not having a sales process, not having a budget, not doing well, those are all red flags that will allow you to actually disqualify them and say, look, this is not going to work out. All right. Now, obviously, I wouldn't say it like that, but it's like, look, it doesn't sound like you're in the greatest place with your business. I just don't know if we're the best fit right now. I don't think we can help you. I think you need to get some more things in order first. And guys, don't be afraid. Here's the other thing. I've said this before. You can't be afraid. You can't be afraid to put business owners on the spot and tell them where they're fucking up, because business owners are stupid. Most of them are fucking dumb. Okay. A lot of people get into this business of building an agency and they're scared. And I know it because that's how I was. Whenever I would talk to a business owner, I felt like I was at their fucking feet. Like, oh my goodness, I'm talking to a business owner. They must know everything. They must be so smart. But then you grow up and then you realize they're just as dumb as the next fucking idiot. They just happen to have a business. That's it.
Facts.
So they're dumb as fuck, and you need to call them out on their stupidity. Don't be afraid to do that. Okay. Jim said getting clients is easy. Finding ideal clients is the challenge. 100%. Yep. Exactly. So don't be afraid to turn people down. Don't be afraid to put them on the spot, call them out on their fucking stupid shit. Because there's a lot of stupid shit that business owners do, as you guys can probably tell already. Okay. Yeah. And as you can see, all these things, all these thought processes come from a place of confidence, from a place of not giving a fuck. Stop caring.
Hey, Sebastian, can I say something, man? Just
Yo.
echoing what you said. I think that's one of the challenges that, I had, starting an SMMA business, is that, like you said, when we finally connect with a prospect and, they become a potential client, we kind of grovel at their feet and we try to make things work, or trying to convert them as hard as possible. But I think what you said is so key, is because, we are business owners as well. And, we have to be smarter than them. And at the same time too, if we somehow convert them, even though like force convert them, especially if the guy is in the red and you're kind of like, we're negotiating him down from like $2,000 to $500 a month or whatever, and we're saying that we can make it work. Because I've done that too, man. I've done free trials myself, and I find like I've added value as a free trial, but then they still didn't end up signing with me on a monthly. You know what I mean? They didn't sign a retainer with me. And at the same time too, that was, obviously I made a little bit of money from the free trial, but I didn't make the money that I wanted to. So, from what you said, what I gather is like, just got to get rid of that scarcity mindset. And I like what you said, bro. It's the truth. And I'm learning so much. That's all.
Yeah, 100%, man. 100%.
That's awesome. Hey, I have one comment to make, and it's actually kind of funny. Kind of random, but creates some relevance with what your previous conversation you had with one of those guys with approaching the situation wrong. Okay, so, Sebastian, I primarily talk to Brian a lot with my situations, with him bringing me on and everything. And he knows a lot more about my stuff. Like, yeah, I've had a couple clients here and there. And I actually had a free trial as well. And I over-delivered. And the guy, he turned out not being qualified. It's just a bunch of bullshit. I ended up dropping him, right after that. I was like, okay, this just isn't working. But my dad owns a plumbing business, and I worked with him for a few years. And this goes for anybody that wants to work in the plumbing, industry and serve for them as, marketing wise. And Sebastian, also, I know you work with HVAC, and I'm expecting you work with more qualified businesses, obviously, what I've dealt with a lot. A lot of these guys that work in the construction, they have sucky fucking business mindsets, like straight up. Like these guys, like my dad is the classic word of mouth marketing type of guy. He wouldn't want to do social media marketing. And like a lot of people, when I've talked to a lot of people about my situation, they're like, why don't you market for your dad? I'm like, I'll just giggle. I'm like, there's no fucking way that would work. They're like, why not? I was like, first of all, my dad's money management is not good. Like he's a guy that lives above his means. So like oftentimes he'll like cop some shit, and then he'll be in the hole with some money. Then he'll wait on another big hit from some work he does. And yeah, what I'm getting to is that, a lot of these guys are not qualified that work in the construction industry unless if they are known around, their tri-state area and they are big. If they are not big, there is a reason why, a major reason why, that these guys are just straight up not qualified at all.
Yep. 100%, man. They're a lot of them don't know what they're doing.
Oh yeah. Like my dad, he makes a decent amount. He makes over, I'd say, $100,000 a year, but it would just never work. And a lot of these guys that end up running these businesses, they don't do it because they want to, create a business out of the love for expanding, their brand and other people. They're doing it just because they're so good at what they fucking do. Like my dad was such a good plumber. He's like, fuck it, I'll just start my own business. He tried to expand one time a few years back to like 20 people, failed so bad in like a year and a half. He let like 15 to 18 of the people go. And it just goes to show that a lot of these guys that work in that construction industry, you really have to be careful. And, like I'm pretty sure you addressed the comment a minute ago with how you said getting clients is easy. It's finding the ideal ones is a challenge. So that goes for anybody in those industries. I'm not trying to bash, Sebastian is proof that it works with HVAC, but just awareness is key with going into the construction field.
Yep, big time. And honestly, you could say that about pretty much any industry.
Yeah, true. Yeah, you're right. Definitely to an extent. But, with my experience in that, I was like, yeah, definitely. So my marketing preference, I don't want to work for construction workers because I know a lot of their personalities and, their motives, and it's just not something I want to constantly work with. That's just my preference.
Yeah.
Sebastian, can I add something?
Yo, let's hear it.
Also, like thinking about like just any type of business, like you just made a comment, that applies to all industries. Even looking at agency hypergrowth, you and Brian, look like I'm sure you had plenty of people approach you say, like, hey, like I'd love to do marketing, but you took the time to figure out who's actually going to make a difference, who's actually worth your time. And if we don't do that with our clients, if we don't actually take like a legitimate look, we're going to end up having a bunch of flaky clients that are just going to suck. And we're going to have to spend our time like babysitting them and helping them. Whereas if we find ideal clients and we don't waste time with the ones who are going to be low return on investment, then we're going to fill our time with the people who make a difference. And we're going to be able to actually progress rather than just spending our time with a bunch of whack jobs.
100%, man. 100%. Yeah. This, Brian and I talk to stupid amount of people every week. And I can't tell you how many people we just say, yeah, you are not a fit. Like, we're not going to bring you into this community. We're not going to bring you into this world. It's the same thing, guys. Same as you said, same exact thing. You got to really just have that mindset of like I need to see if you are fit for my agency, not the other way around. Because if you want to sit here and job interview me, I don't have time for that. Go talk to the next marketer you want to bully, because that ain't me.
Mm-hmm.
And it's
questions.
Yep. Yeah.
Where'd he go?
I don't know. You still here, dude?
Yeah, I'm here. Sorry. Yeah, just like I said, just kind of riding on what Josh said. Connecting with the group and stuff. I like it because the mindset is so key, man. What we're trying to do is we're trying to build a portfolio of ideal clients, right? Because at the end of the day, well, what I kind of learned recently is that we don't need a whole lot of clients to be making six figures. You know what I mean? We just need maybe 5 or 6 ideal clients. You know what I mean? To hit the 6 figs. And then if you can just replicate and duplicate that model and then you could get into 7 figures, like it's not even too far of a shot. You know what I mean?
Nope.
So I mean, talking about what we've been talking about, just getting the ideal client, I think that's super key because we want to build our portfolio and we don't want to have like what Josh said, flaky clients. Like we have them for like a month and then the turnover rate is so high that we just got to keep finding clients to replace those clients. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's super important to not have the scarcity mindset, man. And finding and actually qualifying them, and they need us, man, more than we need them, really, because there's a lot of shit ton of people on LinkedIn.
Oh hell yeah!
All about the long game.
So before I go into some more stuff, because I don't want you guys to think this call is over, because not even close. I want this call to be powerful for you guys. What other questions you guys have, just in general, before we continue?
Hey, Sebastian, I got one quick question for you.
Yep.
So,
sure.
has there ever been a case to where ultimately a prospect would bullshit you during the call to claim that, okay, they get these numbers or they claim they have this, and you sign them on and it turns out that they were not, what they said they were, and it wasn't a good fit after all?
In terms of like they said they were making a lot of money, but they really weren't?
Yes, yeah. Or they said, oh, we've had this marketing. They're just ultimately they didn't know what to say. They panicked, so they bullshitted. Have you ever came across a time like that and it caused you stress?
Yeah, usually when people do that, they don't end up signing on as clients because they just keep bullshitting their way all the way through.
Gotcha. Yeah, I wouldn't expect many of them to, but I mean, yeah, I could see if one would sign on, like that would definitely be a weird fucking situation. But yeah,
it doesn't happen. Because if they bullshit you, they're gonna keep bullshitting you, and they won't. And that includes not actually giving you their credit card info.
Yeah, very true.
Yeah. All right, so let's do this. Let's take like a 3-minute break. Okay, I'm gonna grab some water, and then you guys go grab a snack, whatever you guys got to do. And I am going to talk about going over the proposal and handling some of the objections that you'll get on there. Sound good?
Perfect.
Right, cool.
Yes, sir.
Let's reconvene in a couple minutes.
Yeah,
Cool.
boy.
Are you guys all signing off?
I'm just muting my mic and hang out, get some water.
No.
Yes.
Yeah, I just got home, so I'm gonna bring the groceries upstairs. So this is perfect. I wasn't even banking on this. I'll be back, guys.
How y'all doing?
What's up, Hakeem?
What's going on, brother?
Hakeem, are you from New York?
Yes, sir.
Where? Like the city?
Long Island.
Nice. I live down in Virginia, and I'm up in New York.
Really?
Yeah, I'm up in New York pretty often, my girlfriend and I. So, I didn't know you were from there, but I told Sebastian like probably during the this holiday season, probably gonna go up to New York. So we'll get together, eat some food.
For sure, man. Yeah, because I known Sebastian for a little bit, and when we went in for that meeting, that was pretty much the first time I actually met the kid. So it was pretty cool.
Nice.
Yo, Aaron.
Hi, James.
What's up, man? Yo, what did you do before this, man? You got like a natural radio voice. I was wondering.
Yeah, man.
Famous.
I've been around.
How do you? That shit was on my mind. I was looking at your profiles. I was like, wow, this guy's not a rookie.
Yeah, man. So I guess long story short, I've been doing YouTube stuff for like 10 years.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
I mean, my channel right now has 170K.
Okay.
And so like I've done stuff for like it started off with YouTube and then it kind of transitioned into like a lot of people like I would make videos and they're like, you should like be on the radio. And I was like, all right. So
Well,
like
now it's a sports game.
so I do like voice acting stuff.
Okay.
And then I actually used to do I don't know how familiar you guys with are like gaming and stuff, but I used to be like in the gaming scene and I used to do commentating for gaming.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I don't know if you guys have like play Call of Duty or anything, but I used to do like
I know those voiceover type things.
Yeah, so I used to commentate video games.
Yeah, yep. I know
what game?
Yeah. So yeah, and then kind of just transitioned to the whole
agency,
digital marketing.
What got you into that?
What's up?
What got you into that?
A Dan Henry ad.
Oh, okay. And then you took a course.
I mean, I've kind of just been like floating around like in the whole YouTube space for such a long time. I was just meeting people and do you guys know l1ve?
Yeah.
Or of him, probably.
Yeah, I know of him.
So he used to live where I live now, and like just like fast forward, I got into like a phone call with him, and we were like talking and stuff, and he was just like, yeah, like I do this agency stuff, blah blah blah. And I'm actually speaking at his mastermind in LA in January, so that's gonna be fun.
Wow.
I don't know if you guys are from LA, but
nah, I lived on Tempe, Arizona for a year, but that's probably the closest I've been to LA.
Yeah,
that's dope. I'm going to LA in like a week.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
Diane lives there. I was just there not too long ago in West Hollywood.
I haven't been in like a couple of years. I did a brand deal with Zillow in Malibu, California, and that was like the last time I was there. But I really didn't get to like explore that much. I've been to LA like twice, which I've heard I need to go back.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet.
Crew. You ready?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
All right, let's hit this shit. So before I get into the proposal overview, who has questions about it? Who has done some proposal overview calls or maybe one and has run into issues? Give me anything you guys got so far on proposal overviews. What are you running into?
I have a very vague question about that. Is the proposal overview information in the sales 2.0 section?
Say it again. You got cut out by the.
Yeah, I know. All right. Is any proposal information, like a proposal overview, is that in the sales 2.0 section?
Yep. So there's a proposal. Yeah, there's a proposal overview script.
Okay.
Let me pull it up.
Perfect. Yeah, and the reason why I keep mentioning sales 2.0, as you guys have probably caught on to by now, I haven't watched all of the videos yet in that, and that's the only section I have yet to watch. So I'm definitely going to get that after we get off this call today.
Yep.
Get to watching, boy.
Good.
Sure.
Good deal.
All right. Anybody else? Has anybody else done any proposal overview calls? Have you run into any issues, things like that?
Well, as I said yesterday, my only problem with proposal is actually not the script or the call itself, is the proposal.
Tell me about that.
So like in the one Brian showed us, he was proposing like social media marketing, Instagram growth, and SEO. And then when I looked at it, there was like a bunch of stuff. I mean, in his proposal makes sense, but in mine, it wouldn't really, because we only agreed on SEO and website update. So I don't know like what to cut off, what to not cut off, and like more like, I guess, technical stuff.
So okay, so let me ask you this: what do you think? So if Brian showed you a proposal that has Instagram growth and other things on it, but your client only wanted to do SEO and website redesign, what do you think you should probably take out of your proposal?
Switch it out.
Everything except SEO, but then in his proposal, SEO is only 1,000. So is it like for only 1 month? Since it's only 1,000 in his proposal?
Don't worry about, don't get caught up on what anyone else's proposal says.
Hey, just to give you like clarity, man, that proposal, it says $1,000 and then it says quantity 6. So it's $1,000 a month over 6 months. And then that's why the total is 6.
6-month contract.
Oh, okay, I haven't seen that.
Yeah, when you guys are selling SEO, you should not be doing anything less than 6-month contract.
Okay.
And honestly, 6K is kind of low. I would do like a 8 to 12K contract, depending on what you're comfortable with.
For SEO?
Yep. So I would just say, you know, if you want to do this, again, this is stuff you can test out. This is going to depend on the industries. Obviously, like one might resonate with it more than the other. One might not resonate with it at all. You can test doing something along the lines of, so we'll do a 6-month SEO contract. It's, you know, you could say like it's 10K if you commit to the 6 months. If you want to do month to month, it's going to be blah, blah, blah. But, you know, you give them like a cheaper rate if they commit to 6 months. But honestly, I wouldn't even, now that I'm thinking about it, I wouldn't even do that, because giving them the option to do month to month won't do anything for them, because SEO doesn't work for at least 6 months anyways, 3 to 6. So yeah, now that I'm thinking about it, don't even bother. Just 6-month SEO contract, 10K, 12K, 8K, whatever you feel comfortable with. Test out a couple different things. So it's 8K.
Okay.
It's 8K. We can split that up over 6 months.
All right.
So don't say what's 8K divided by 6. I don't have my calculator in front of me. That's like, it's like 1,200, something like that, 1,300, 14, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Don't say it's 1,400 a month. Don't say that. 6-month SEO. We're going to do a 6-month SEO campaign. It's a 6-month commitment. It's 8K. We can split that up over 6 months. Make sense?
Yeah.
Cool. That's how you deliver the price. Now, what I need to really, really hammer home to you guys, this is so, so, so important. What you have to do, guys, is you have to think of it this way. You have to have hoops for the clients to jump through for you to give them the price. Okay? Now, what I mean by that is you can't just tell them the price. No. You got to ask them, how are they feeling about this whole thing? Is this, you say stuff like, before I tell you the price, and don't worry, I will tell you what it is this something you want to implement? Is this something that you want to move forward with? Yeah, okay.
Brian's a savage with holding back the price. I love it.
Yeah, you can't tell them the price, guys. You can't. You gotta get their verbal commitments. You gotta get them to make it clear that this is something they want to do. Because and then what you can say is things like, hey, look, the reason I ask is because, actually, no, I wouldn't say the reason I ask is, but you can say something like, look, if this isn't something you want to do, if this isn't something that you see value in and that you see can be what's going to help you scale your business to the next level, then I'm not going to tell you the price. Like, I'm not going to tell you what it costs if you don't want to do it. It makes no sense. What's the point? It's like, you're not going to tell me the cost of repairing my roof if I don't want my roof repaired. Right? Would you? Mr. Solar, would you tell me the price of a solar installation if I told you I don't want to get solar panels installed? No. Fuck no. Because there's no point. Okay? So I'm not going to tell you the price if you don't want to do this. If you don't see how it can help you. There's no point. It's not something you want. And if they're like, well, if the price is right, then yeah, I want to do it. No. That's not how this works. That's not how this works. Because you're basing your decision purely off of the price, which means you probably don't see the value. So I don't know if, I'm not too sure, Mr. Business Owner, if I want to tell you the price, because it doesn't sound like you're fully sold on the value.
So that's what you would say if someone would say that it depends on the price.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Because if they're making their decision based off of price, you need to call them out on it, because that's not how they should be making. Because if that's how they're making decisions within their business, they have a problem. Because they're not, what they're missing, what they're not looking at is ROI. They're not looking at how if they're going to spend $10K over the course of 6 months, which again is nothing. By the way, whoever's mic is making noise, please mute it. I want to make sure everybody can hear this. Who is that? I have no idea. But either way, hold on. We got to figure this out. It's just annoying me. I'm just going to mute everybody. There. Now, if you guys want to talk, you can unmute, but leave your stuff muted for now. So where was I? If they're going to spend $10K with you over the course of 6 months, and if that SEO campaign, if all it does is bring them bare minimum 3 clients a month, which is bare minimum, right? Which is going to be way more. But again, if all it does is bring them 3 clients, and even if it's a solar or even if it's a roofer, and that's, minimum $2,000 to $4,000 a client, they make their investment back in the first month, and they make their investment back with 1 month after everything being fired. And after that, everything is pure profit. So they make a multiple X back on their investment. Multiple X. Okay. Is this all making sense before I continue? Yep. So you need to help them understand that, like, look, Bobby the fucking plumber, are you looking at cost or are you looking at ROI? Because if you're looking at cost, then I don't feel too confident in your ability to make decisions as a business owner, which tells me we might not be a good fit. Make sense?
You're a savage.
You have to be that way. You have to be a savage. You have to. Otherwise, they look at you as a fucking weakling.
Yep.
That's why I was able to close clients, guys. I didn't give a fuck. I didn't give a fuck. Even when I was broke, I didn't give a fuck.
Oh yeah.
Because I knew that if I went into these things with scarcity mindset and sounded like a little fucking bitch, I'm not gonna make money. I'm not gonna close clients. I'm just being real. I'm just being fucking raw with you guys here.
Exactly.
That's who you have to be. You have to. You must. So that's what I meant by you have to make these clients jump through hoops for you to tell them the price. And another thing, no marketer does that. Like nobody in any other program, agency in a box, agency in whatever the fuck, I don't care. No other marketer out there does that because people are scared out of their fucking minds. Okay. So they're not going to be used to that as well. And which is a good thing. So again, you need to give them like walls that they need to break through in order for you to tell them what the cost is, or what the price is rather, not the cost. Does that make sense, guys? Is this all making sense?
Yep, 100%.
Yes. Are these like in this proposal script?
No.
These like hoops you're talking about?
Yeah, so they aren't, which is why. Actually, you know what? I'm lying. Let me share my screen with you. So this is what we have in the proposal script, okay? Now, that's why, because what I wanted to do is go over this stuff on this call, okay? So that what you guys can do is you can go back, you can rewatch this call and listen to the things I'm telling you again. But what I'm probably going to do is put some of this stuff into the script, okay? But is what I'm saying making sense to you guys?
100%.
Yep.
Cool. And this is where so many, this is the stuff nobody's doing. This is like amateurs, most marketers, most agency owners aren't doing this stuff. They're just not. So again, make them jump through hoops, okay? Because that way you can clear out any objections before you even get to the price.
Yep.
Right? So you're asking them, how are you feeling? How are you feeling about this? Before I tell you the price, is this something you 100% want to do? How are you feeling from 1 to 10? Because if you're not really feeling this, dude, this is what I would say to a prospect. If you're not really feeling this, like if you're not really feeling like this is the thing you need, I'm not going to tell you the price. It's pointless because the price shouldn't matter. The price won't matter if this isn't something you truly want to do. You want them to say, no, I want to do this. No, this is something I want. Okay, cool. I like where your head is at. So we're going to do a 6-month SEO campaign. Okay, we're going to get the phones ringing. We're going to get you to the first page of Google. We're going to get those appointments coming in so that we can get you closer to that, whatever their goal was, to that, $50K a month mark, whatever it is. And for the 6-month SEO campaign, it's only 10K. Or it's only 12K. And we'll split that up into 6 months. And you stay quiet. You don't say a thing. Just like I did. And you wait for them to respond.
When should you go about upselling them? So if
don't even think about upselling.
Okay.
Don't think about upselling until you have them as a client, number one, which is obviously a given. And number two, you've already gotten them results.
Yep.
Who's jumping on? I'm curious.
Aaron.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
So yeah, don't worry about upselling until you've already gotten them good results and they love you. In which case it will be easy as anything to upsell them into multitude of services.
Sebastian, have you gave proposals in person before? Went over proposals in person? Because I have to do one in 3 hours.
Not the way that I do them now, because I stopped, as you guys know, I stopped doing in-person meetings a long time ago. So when I stopped doing in-person meetings, I didn't have the knowledge that I have now. But honestly, it's really no different.
Okay.
In fact, in person, while I'm definitely not a fan, actually does have its perks because you can really dig some of the pain points out like in person. Because it's easier, not to say that people are always going to bullshit you on the phone, but it's easier to bullshit over the phone and over Zoom.
Yeah.
In someone's face.
Yes, because if you're in somebody's face, there's nowhere for them to run.
Because he told me, he said, I just want to meet you before I give you a bunch of money.
Oh, good. That's good.
That's what he told me.
No, dude, if you don't close this deal, I don't even know where you live, but I'm going to come and hurt you.
Yeah. He lives in River North, like down the street from me in Chicago.
Okay, well, I'm going to hop on the next flight to Chicago and
all right.
All right.
Kick me in the nuts, I hope so. It's a $14K contract, so.
Yeah, you better not fuck this up, dude. No pressure. No pressure.
No pressure at all.
Like zero pressure. Okay? You're going deep. You're going underwater, but there's no fucking pressure. All right. So that's it, guys. That's how you do the proposal overview. You just ask them, hey, how are you feeling? What questions do you have? Okay. And you go over the plan. You tell them what you're going to do. Okay. Here's where I see the biggest window of opportunity is doing this, and that. Okay. And this is what is going to get you to that, whatever their goal is, $500,000 a year, $1 million a year mark. Or at least this is the first phase of steps to get you to that. Okay. And once you tell them the plan, you shut up. You say, I'm going to give you guys an example. So I think it was with Aaron Martinez. I believe it was when we talked to, I can't remember who it was. Either way, Hakeem has heard me do it. Aaron's heard me do it. Other people have heard me do it. You tell them the plan, and then you say, so it's like, okay, look, after looking at your website, after looking at what you're doing right now in terms of organic, I see the biggest window of opportunity as being getting you ranked towards the first page of Google, okay, building your organic foundation so that we can get the phones ringing, get more people finding you, get more people reaching out to you and wanting your services. And yeah, that's where I see the biggest window of opportunity right now for you to capitalize on. And that's what I would do. That's my analysis. That's what I think is the best move for you. Notice how I'm not saying that's what we're going to do for you. I'm saying that's what I think you should do. That's what I think is the best plan of action for you. And yeah, that's what I got. And that's it. That's it. Not, this is what I think we should do. It's 12K. No. Again, amateur. That's amateur. That's every other marketer. It's every other marketer. Okay. That's what I think we should do, or that's what I think you should do. And yeah, that's what I think. Boom. Then that's when they're going to say, oh, okay, well, what's the price? So you want them to ask for the price. Okay. You want them to ask you, what's it going to cost? That's when you start to make them jump through your hoops. Okay. That's when you go, well, hey, before I tell you what it's going to cost, or sorry, bad habit. Before I tell you what the price is, or you could even say, what I like to do is, before I tell you what the investment is, how are you feeling? How are you feeling about all this? Whatever they say, ideally it's like, I feel good. I feel like this is good. Now, if they're like, well, I'm just not sure, it's like, okay, well, what are you unsure about? What questions can I answer for you? Nothing to do with the price. Nothing to do with the price. Okay. Aaron, yes, I'm going to update the proposal script today. Okay. So it's, how are you feeling about all this? Is this something you want to implement? Okay. How are you feeling on a scale of 1 to 10? Is this like, are you a 10? Is this what you want to do? Or are you still unsure? Because I don't want to tell, again, this goes back to the same thing. I don't want to tell you the price if it's not something you just genuinely don't want to do, or you don't really see how it could help you. Okay. This is where any objections they have will start to come up. Only if they say, this is something I want to do, I feel good, okay, all the positive responses you want to look for, only if they give those to you, those positive responses, like, again, I feel good, this is what I want to do, I'm a 10 out of 10, like, this is it, I really want to get going with this. And you ask them, you can even ask them how soon are you looking to get the ball rolling with something like this, like soon as possible, things like that. The positive responses, okay, cool. So just to recap, biggest window of opportunity is organic, blah, blah, blah. This is going to be the first step in getting you closer to your goal of XYZ a year or a month, whatever it is. And to get you there, for the 6-month SEO campaign, it's only 10K. That's it. Nonchalant. And then you shut up.
I'm sorry, can you repeat the last thing you said?
Yeah, where did I cut off?
Well, for me.
Or where did I cut out?
When you said the price, I believe.
Okay. So for the 6-month SEO campaign, to closer to whatever their goal is, a month or a year. For the 6 months, it's only 10K.
Got it.
That's it. Simple. We can split that up over 6 months. There it is.
Hey, Sebastian, question, bro. So I know when we do the proposal, right, we're supposed to be showing our screen. I don't know if you have like a mock proposal, or maybe even use the proposal that Brian uploaded into the Facebook group. would you be able to show your screen and just kind of like, I don't know if you like hover around with your cursor, here's the price, you know what I mean? Like, just some kind of visual that we should be doing or demonstrating to our prospect or client. What do you do? Like when the call starts, do you already have the proposal up with your share screen, or do you have your video on? Do they have their video on? Just kind of stuff like that. Because just kind of trying to create that visual for myself for when I do a proposal. Would you be able to do that and run kind of through just briefly what you just said with the proposal overview, or are you going to be creating like a video like that type thing? Like, I understand I don't know if you recorded any of your proposal calls, but I mean, like, just a demonstration, even if it was just like a mock would be, I don't know, for me, I would really appreciate it.
Question. Who has proposal overview calls coming up?
Me on Monday.
Say again, I can.
I got one next Friday.
Okay, I'm going to get on those, or one of them. Actually, see, this is where it gets tricky. Because it really only makes sense if I had already done the discovery call. Because then it's like you're bringing me out of nowhere. It's like, whoa, who's that?
No, it's good. I'm good on my own, man.
Only reason I say this is because I want to do an example to show you guys.
Sebastian, our Doug guy is probably going to be on Tuesday.
Nice.
So if you want to do that, then I also have one that Brian's going to jump on probably on Monday.
Perfect.
Either today or Monday. So I guess we can record those, and then if you want, I can edit out like the sensitive stuff, and then we can upload those if that works.
That would be sick, please.
Now, what I do want to say is, as Aaron said, don't overthink it. Don't overthink it. What I just did, like literally, guys, that thing I just did to you, that process out of like questions I asked, the hoops, and how I present the price, that's how you close. That's it. Don't overthink it. You're telling them what your plan is. You're saying, that's all I got for you. They ask you, cool, what's the price? And that's when the hoop jumping starts. Well, before I talk about the price and what next steps are, how are you feeling? From 1 to 10, how are you feeling? Are you a 3? Are you a 7? Are you a 10? Because I don't want to tell you the price if you're not feeling it, Is this something you want to do? Do you see how this can get you from blah, blah, blah to blah, blah, blah? Cool. You can go from there. So don't overthink it, man. You don't necessarily have to share your screen with a proposal. What you can do, if you want to be, this is how I like to do it. I'm a savage. You can just go through that whole thing and be like, so, and then if they're like ready to go, next steps, cool. I have the proposal ready. I'm going to email it to you right now. I'm going to have you sign it now on the call. And I'll take down your credit card info, Visa or MasterCard. Boom. That's how you do it.
Have you split test getting people's like their actual credit card over the phone? Because I feel like some people might be skeptical about that.
If they are, they don't trust you, and you have a deeper problem than just their credit card.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Yeah, I'll be honest, Sebastian, with the credit card over the phone, like even just for when Brian called me for this program in general, I felt like I've never had anyone do that before, and it just kind of made me feel like, whoa, what the fuck? I've never had anyone call me over the phone unless they're trying to scam me. So like, I knew I trusted him, but at the same time, it was like, oh wow, I wasn't really expecting that.
Yep, and the only reason why you did it is because you trust him.
Exactly. Okay.
Yep.
Got it.
Now let me be clear. Taking the credit card over the phone is not easy. Okay, you guys, if you've never done it before, it's going to feel weird. Right? So again, David, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
If Brian, when you got on the phone with him, if he sounded even like just a tad bit unsure, if his voice was shaking, he's like, okay, what's the credit card? info.
Yeah. Fuck that.
If he had any little slight sign of just weirdness, would you have gone through with it?
Probably no.
Hell no. Hell no. Of course not. So that's why you guys can't do that. So what you can do is, if you're not comfortable with the credit card thing just yet, that's fine. That's okay. But let me be clear. What you can't do, what you do not want to do, is leave the proposal overview call and not have some form of moving forward. So what I mean by that is, okay, cool. So like you've already talked about the price, right? This is already after you've had them jump through your hoops and they want to do it. Like you close them, they're good to go. They want to move forward. Okay, cool. So what they'll probably do is ask you, do you have anything written down on paper? Is there a contract? Is there something like that? This is where you take the reins of the conversation. You say, yep, don't worry about that. I got all that covered. I actually have the proposal already created because, and this is where you can throw a joke in. You can say, because I kind of had a feeling we'd end up working together, you know? So yeah, and that's when they'll probably laugh and chuckle, and even better. So you pull up the proposal, you email it to them. And again, you have to say, okay, here's the next steps. I'm going to email you the proposal now. Okay. And while you go ahead and sign that now on the phone, I'm going to go and whip up a quick invoice for the first month. I'm going to send that over to you as well now. I'm going to have you pay the invoice on the phone. Okay. Because first of all, that seals the deal. Second of all, this is also where any objections that still exist will come up. This is why you jump through hoops. Because here's what's going to happen. If you don't have them jump through hoops and you tell them the plan of action and you tell them the price without having them jump through any hoops, without clearing any of those barriers, aka the objections, then when you go to close, that's when the objections will come up. Because that's when it actually comes time for them to make a decision. It's like, oh shit just got real. So if you click by jumping through the hoop, by having them jump through hoops and clearing those roadblocks early, then when you go to actually close, no objections come up because you've already dealt with them. Is this all making sense?
Yep.
If it's confusing, be honest, because I know sometimes it could be a little like, whoa, what the fuck? What's everybody's thoughts on this?
So I have a question about it actually. So I remember when I was speaking to Brian, right? And I had all the paperwork in front of me. It was like long, drawn out. And I was on the phone with him and I read through the whole thing. So we're supposed to be doing the same thing in the proposal call. So what I gather is you're not showing them the proposal, you're just telling them your plan of action. Well, their plan of action through our agency. And then basically saying, I have the paperwork drawn up. I send a proposal over to you. You sign the paperwork now, and I'll whip up an invoice, and you pay the invoice now. Let's say, for example, on the proposal, it doesn't have any like, I don't know, cancellation or all that stuff. You know, like those I don't know, those legal lingos and all that stuff. What would you do about that? It's like, oh, what if they want like a long drawn out agreement? Like, would you have that ready too?
No, dude. So let me tell you what your problem is. You're thinking about problems before they're even coming up.
Mm.
So if you continue to think about these problems that don't exist, you know what's going to happen? They're going to actually happen.
Gotcha.
So you're creating problems in your mind that haven't yet occurred. So when you go to talk to somebody, because they're in your subconscious, watch what's going to happen. They're going to come up. So you're messing your mind up. Don't even think about that shit. You have got to have the utmost confidence in your process, in what you do. That's it. Don't even think, bro, that shit is so irrelevant. It's like, it literally doesn't matter. It's not even like a thing. That's how you have to operate your mind. Like, that's not even a thing.
So sign proposal, send invoice, get the credit card over the phone. Done deal.
Done deal. Boom. All right, cool. Let's get you onboarded. Here's next steps. I'm going to have you, I'm going to create a shared Slack channel with you and my team. I'm going to send you over an onboarding document. What's the best email? Boom, boom, boom. Make sure the process is smooth. Okay. That's how you do it. And boom, there you go. And then you drop them into dash clicks and you're on to the next client. And that's how you scale to 10, 15K a month in 2 months.
Sounds like a plan, man.
Boom. Anybody else? Thoughts, questions, concerns? I want to make sure we get, how many people are on here right now? We got some people that I'm not really hearing much from. I want to make sure everybody's like feeling good, no confusion. If there is, let's clear that up. What's everybody thinking?
I think the biggest thing, and I mean, obviously, like, it all comes down to like actually getting on the calls. And I think, I mean, I've been doing this stuff for probably about 6 months and like really just starting to see the wins within like the past month just being in the program. But you guys just need to like get out there and just start, like, don't worry about like having everything ironed out, just because if you like worry more about that, you're going to learn all this stuff and then never implementing it was my biggest problem. And another thing is like, I mean, obviously, like, I have practice from like being on these calls. You're not going to learn tonality by just listening. You like literally have to sit, like, I'll do this in my car. Like, I'll just go over and over and over just an intro of talking to myself and actually like getting it out and saying it. Like, it might sound silly, but at the end of the day, like, it's going to keep you from like sounding like you're reading from a script when you actually get on these calls. So just practice.
Yep. 100%.
Can I add on to that?
Yes, sir.
There's never going to be a perfect time to do anything. Like, you're never going to feel ready to go do a perfect sales or anything. Will Smith has a dope video where he talks about when he went skydiving and talking about the other side of fear. Like, we're only scared of things up until we do them. Once we do them, then we realize like it's not that hard. It's actually pretty dang easy.
Yeah.
And so with like sales and with any of these things that like could be fearful or whatever, just like forget about it and just freaking send it. Just go full send. And by the time you're done, if it works, it works. If it doesn't work, awesome. You have something to learn from. But don't think about it. Just do it.
Yep. For those of you that, to add on to that, I don't know, for those of you that follow the UFC and stuff like that, Conor McGregor's coach has a really cool sort of outlook on things. It's basically that you either win or you learn. There's no lose, right? So you either win or you learn, okay? And that's how you guys need to start looking at things. So let's see here. Just looking at the questions. Okay. Yeah, guys, you're going to win or you're going to learn. And either way is good, because if you win, nice. But if you learn, you're getting that much closer to winning. Okay. Dude, Aaron, I was thinking the same thing, bro.
So weird. Like Josh, when you were talking earlier, like you sounded like the way that you say things, the way that it ends, like I was like, is this Brian?
Bro,
dude,
I hope that doesn't happen. I hope that doesn't happen.
I thought that same thing.
I hope that doesn't happen to me, because him and I are going to this event in January. I'm going to be meeting this motherfucker for the first time. You better not fucking put a spell on me or some shit. Fucking, what's he doing to these young guys, man?
Dude, it's the Utah voice, man.
That's what it is, bro. That's what I'm
so weird. Stop it. It's Brian.
Stop.
With a voice changer.
Oh my goodness, that's funny. I thought the same shit. I thought I was the only one, so that's why I didn't say anything. I thought I was just around Brian too much, so like I was just hearing things. All right, fellas. I feel like we got a lot of shit covered today. Who else thinks that?
100%, bro.
Cool. Oh, yeah. My goal is to help you guys smash through any of your sales problems, limiting beliefs, struggles, anything like that. And I want you guys, my goal is for you guys to understand like the actual definition of sales, which is not how to sell. It's how do I have a conversation better? How do I make somebody laugh? How do I befriend somebody? How can I just learn how to effectively communicate? Because I don't know if I think Grant Cardone said this, but one of the truest things I've ever been told, and I think my sales mentor, my personal sales mentor, who mentored me when I was doing sales at the gym when I was still working, told me that everything in life is a sale. Everything's a sale.
You're either being sold or you're selling.
Because you're selling an idea, or you're selling yourself. You're selling a product, a service, an outcome, a goal. You're always selling something to somebody.
Right now, you're selling us on the idea that everything's sell or be sold.
Right now, I'm selling you guys on how on the idea and concept of being able to sell. Yeah, everything's a sale. And when you can start realizing that and looking at things in a bit of a different light, and realizing that sales isn't selling, it's not about selling. It's about communication. It's about clearly conveying a message to achieve a desired outcome. That's it. So what I strongly, highly, highly, highly advise you guys to do is to rewatch this video at least 2 to 3 times. As many times as possible, as many times as you need, to really understand the concepts, that I talked about, with making them jump through hoops, the discovery call, tonality, things like that. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some more stuff into the scripts so that you guys can have that on paper. And what I might do is, what would be easiest for you guys? Would it be easy if I put this stuff into the script? Would it be easy if I created a separate document with some just different stuff on it? Like what would be the easiest way for you guys to consume everything I went over?
I think just adding it to the proposal script, because what I do is I print it off, so I have it here.
Yeah, same here.
Because, I mean, I kind of find it harder for me personally to kind of scroll through the scripts while I'm saying it, or if I'm on an actual call. So what I do is I just print it and I have it right beside me or my work, like my desk. So, I mean, having that hoop stuff like that is genius. I've never really thought of that at all. I mean, because like I said before, you know, when I first got here, I would be groveling at the business owner's feet. But at the end of the day, it's like, yo, bro, you need me. I don't need you. You know, right? Like straight up. You know what I mean? Like, yo, if you want to know the price, I just need to know if you're in. You know, like, how are you feeling? From the scale of 1 to 10, are you like a 3? Are you a 7? Are you a 10? Like, I just want to know where you're at, because I mean, if you're not thinking about implementing any of this stuff, then it doesn't really make sense for us to continue our conversation. You know what I mean? And you know, and there's no hard feelings. You know, I mean, we part ways as friends. We connected on LinkedIn. If you need anything, you know where I'm at. Just hit me up. You know,
100%. Because then,
yeah, but I mean, just adding it to the document would be great.
Because then it's going to be like, whoa, what do you mean? Hold on a second. That's what's going to go through their mind. It's like, whoa, what the fuck? Like, damn, this guy is on some other shit.
I remember the first call I had with Brian. I left that call just in shock. I was like, holy shit, there's so much I still need to learn.
Yep. That's the funny thing about learning, guys, is that it never stops. Brian and I just spent $30,000 on a mentor, and we thought we knew everything, and then we realized we knew nothing. So, yeah. That's how you do it. Cool. All right, guys. I like this call. I think I'm going to start getting on these sales clinics more. It's usually been Brian by himself, but you can probably use the assistance. All right. Any last questions?
When are we going to get this video ready?
Definitely today. Probably not till later this afternoon, because this is a long-ass video. This is a long call.
It's like 2 hours plus, man.
Yeah, 2 hours plus. So it's going to take a while to download onto my computer, and then I got to upload to YouTube and all that stuff. But it'll definitely be up by this evening.
Is it going to be in the dashboard, or is it going to be in the?
Absolutely. This is a goodie. I'm going to be uploading this one into the dashboard for sure.
Sweet, man. Cool.
We good?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm full, bro. I'm full. I came starving, and I came out feasting. So I'm good. Thank you.
I love it. Me too. I ate some breakfast while I was talking shit. So, all right, guys, let's keep cranking. Keep me posted. Let's keep talking some shit in that group chat. Let everybody know how the journey's going, your wins, your losses, the good, the bad, the ugly. And yeah, let's keep doing this shit, guys. Next group call is going to be on Tuesday. So I'll talk to you fuckers then.
Sounds good.
Sweet. Talk to you then, bro.
All right, later, bro.
All right, guys. Start the week off.